Good evening and welcome to beautiful St. Catherine's Hall at St. Catherine's, Kentucky. We are just outside of Springfield in Washington County, where we bring you tonight Who Will Lead Us? I am Hal B. Good with 100.9 WLSK, and I'll be moderating the event this evening with our local media from Washington County. They include the Springfield Sun and Channel 6 TV, who I will be introducing in just a few moments. Our forum this evening will feature those seeking the office of magistrate in Washington County and the 5 individuals vying for the office of district judge in Washington, Marion, Taylor, and Greene County. Before we begin this evening, we'd like to thank our sponsors who help coordinate the event and sponsor the live broadcast. They do include the Springfield Washington County Chamber of Commerce, Rose Bookkeeping, Pat Rose, the Democratic Women's Club of Washington County, the Washington County Democratic Committee, and the Dominican Sisters of Peace, who are providing the venue. Join me in thanking them with a round of applause. For those in attendance here this evening, if you would please rise, we're going to have the presentation of our colors this evening. This is the Boy Scouts of Washington County with our presentation of the colors and our Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Boy Scouts of Washington County. You may be seated. I mentioned a moment ago this program was brought to you in part by the Democratic Women's Club of Washington County. I'd like to welcome to the podium Sister Marilyn Pearson of St. Catherine. Sister?
Thank you, Hal. On behalf of the Dominican Sisters of Peace right here at St. Catherine, Kentucky, we welcome each and every one of you to this nonpartisan candidate forum for Washington County. And we are just very pleased to be able to provide this forum to educate all of us about who is running for office and who will be the best candidates that will serve us honorably.
Thank you, Sister. And now we want to welcome to the podium the President of the Democratic Women's Club of Washington County. Here is Diane Sims.
Welcome. I'm so proud to see so many in the audience. On behalf of the Democratic Women's Club, I would like to thank each and every one of you. We'd like to thank our panel of commentators tonight. Hal Good, Jeff Morley, and Gary White, and of course our beautiful timekeeper, Belle Sutton. But most of all, we'd like to thank all the candidates that signed up for the forum. And I guess we're about ready to start. Thank you very much.
And finally, before we get to the program, I want to welcome to the podium the 2018 Distinguished Young Woman of Washington County, Sarah Downs.
So this is a piece I presented at the state program about Washington County. Being the county seat of the first county established in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Springfield has its fair share of presidential history. Although Confederate President Jefferson Davis studied at the St. Rose Priory, Lincoln's legacy is what's most well known about my town. President Lincoln's parents were married in Springfield in one of the oldest working courthouses in the nation. Being named after our first president, I am proud to be Sarah Downs, the Distinguished Young Woman of Washington County.
Thank you, Sarah. On behalf of the local media in this area, we do want to thank the Women's Club for approaching us to be involved, to make sure that this is, as already been said, a forum to where we could discuss and hear from the candidates that are running for these offices. But I want to thank my colleagues in the media. First of all, with Choice Radio, WLSK-FM, I want to thank Chris Hill. Chris, thank you for being in here to engineer our program this evening. Let's hear it for Chris Hill. Also want to thank Gary White and the folks at Channel 6 who are always there to be able to bring that video coverage of our important events in our community here in Washington County. So Gary, to you and your staff, we thank you for your participation. And finally, my colleague that'll be joining me at the table this evening. It's so important to have your local media present, and the Springfield Sun does a great job in their coverage, and Jeff Moreland has done a great job in leading that. Jeff's going to go on and give us a little bit of detail about how we're going to be handling the forum this evening, but join me in thanking the Springfield Sun and Jeff Moreland as I welcome you to the podium. Jeff?
Good evening. This forum requires a respectful, considerate tone. It is not a venue to vent your frustrations, no matter how justified you may think they are. The purpose of this forum is to highlight what you can do if elected into office, and not to point out negative characteristics about your opponent or anyone currently serving in office. As for the introductions tonight, candidates will be introduced, and they will have 3 minutes to expand on their political platform. The timer, Ms. Sutton, will give a 30-second warning and then ring a bell at the end of that allotted, there's the sign, yes ma'am, give a bell at the end of that allotted 3-minute time. No candidate will be allowed to continue beyond that 3-minute time, and the chair will then ask that candidate to be seated. During introductions and question periods, candidates will approach the microphone, address those listening and in attendance, and later answer one question from our panel. The chair has used his discretion, which is Mr. Good, in balancing written and spoken questions. In an attempt to keep equal response, each question will be directed directly at one candidate. The chair will rule out of order any person who unreasonably attempts to use the question period as a platform for expressing any other point of view on another issue. Finally, at the conclusion of the forum, outside this building, each candidate here tonight will be more than welcome, if they wish, to stay around, talk with the constituents, and answer any questions they feel free to answer. Again, that's at their option, so if you catch somebody outside and want to talk to them, you're more than welcome if they want to stick around. We appreciate everyone being here. Thank you very much.
All right, finally, just a couple of ground rules as we get started. If you have a cell phone, we ask you to put it on silent, or do better than that, turn it off. You know, we are going to ask for a lot of silence throughout this evening just to make it fair. And also, I think you'll agree with me, these candidates, they deserve that respect as we go through the evening. So please do that. If you have to have a conversation, leave the room. Please do that. If you have to have a conversation, if for some reason you have to chat with someone, take it out in the hallway or outside, please, because I think, you know, what we'll have to do is there's a disruption or a conversation, we're going to stop the program because these candidates deserve it. I think we said that earlier. And I think, you know, we asked for your silence during the time speaking and answering the questions. We want to keep it equal because these candidates deserve it. So now, I think we're finally ready to get started. And we've had a chance to ask for your attention. We gave you a lot of rules to follow this evening, but we want you to be able to let your candidate know you appreciate them. because I think now is a great time for you to show your recognition for the candidates and what they are doing as we bring them to the stage this evening. So let's get this started this evening with our candidates. We're going to start with the county magistrates. Please make Phil welcome from District Number 1, Republican incumbent Terry Tingle.
And welcoming from District Number 2, Democratic incumbent Benjamin Settles.
From District Number 3, Republican Bobby Lee Russell.
From District Number 4, Democrat Sue McIntyre Blair.
From District Number 4, Democrat Larry Vaughn Carney.
From District Number 4, Republican incumbent Johnny Coyle.
From Magisterial District Number 5, Democrat Ricky Fields.
From District Number 5, Democrat John H. Graves.
From District Number 5, Democrat Sean Mattingly.
From District Number 5, Democrat Matt Medley.
From District Number 5, Democrat Jason, better known as Chico Mudd.
From District Number 6, Democrat Philip L. Carrico.
From District Number 6, Republican Paul E. Lewis.
From District Number 6, Democrat Jason Mattingly.
Ladies and gentlemen, now for our district judges for Division 11-2. From Lebanon, Jude A. Hagan.
From Campbellsville, Mike Hall Jr.
From Campbellsville, Luke Lawless.
From Lebanon, Don L. McCauley.
And from Campbellsville, Jeremy Ansel Wood. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, another round of applause for those who have committed to be here this evening, the candidates for county magistrates and also district judge for Division 11-2. As Jeff said earlier, our program will start with a 3-minute time for each of the candidates who have said they would be here tonight to talk a little bit about themselves if they like, or about their platform for the office that they will be running. This is a 3-minute time period. Again, we've already talked about our timekeeper and the signal for 30 seconds before time is up. So let's begin with county magistrates. For those of you that don't know, magistrates serve as members of the fiscal court. Their responsibilities do include supervision of the fiscal affairs of the county and county officers, maintenance of accurate fiscal records, appropriation of county funds for lawless purposes, the purchase, sale, and maintenance of county property, buildings, and roads, establishing appointed offices and defining their duties, and adopting an administrative code for the county. Let's hear from our first candidate this evening. From District Number 1, here's Republican incumbent Terry Tingle. Mr. Tingle, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Glad to see all of you out. I'm Terry Tingle. I'm from Mooresville. I got 3 precincts. I got Mooresville, Brush Grove, and Sharpsville. I'm in District 1. I have my wife of 47 years. She don't want to hear that probably, but and I have 5 grandkids. I was a dairy farmer. I milked cows for 43 years. I became a magistrate in 1989. I've did everything to my best to try to make Washington County a good place to live, and the roads, I tried those. I mean, we try to work with the city of Springfield to make the whole county, just not in my district, but the whole county. And, I've just do my best and everything. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Tingle, District Number 1, Republican incumbent.
District number 2, Democrat incumbent, Benjamin Settles.
I'm not much on speaking, but I'm a little nervous seeing all these guys out in the audience, but I've been married for 47 years, 2 children, 4 grandchildren. I've been married for 12 years. I've not missed but 1 day in 12 years. I love working for the county. I do. I devote all of my time. When I go to the office, I devote my time to the county. And most of us know, well, the roads. That's one of the things they say. But the roads is not our number one thing. A budget. If we don't work out in our budget, we are hurting. If we just go out there and spend money wild, it's not going to work. I was talking to a couple guys here a while ago. Since I've been magistrate, I have paved probably 6 roads. And after I paved these roads, I have seen the county grow. We've got new homes on those. But if you're living back a dusty gravel road, it's not going to work. You're not going to get no new homes back in there because they don't want to get dust in them, and I don't blame them. So I'm thinking if we all work together, I don't care who the new magistrate is or new judge, we all got to work together to make it happen. We just can't go out there but if I'm reelected, the first thing I want to do is form a committee and go out and look at the roads. All of us look at the roads, and don't make no difference whose district it is. Let's get the job done. That's all I'm after, is getting the job done. Thank y'all.
Once again, that's District 2, Democratic incumbent, Benjamin Settles.
Now for Magistrate District Number 3, here's Republican Bobby Lee Russell.
Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. Like I said, I'm running for District 3. District 3 is in the eastern part of the county, runs north to south. It's a pretty good sized district. I've lived in this district all of my life for 55 years. My wife and I, we've been married for 35 years and both retired from Washington County Board of Education. We have 3 children, and they all live and work in Washington County. And we have a new granddaughter, 6 weeks old, so she's keeping us pretty busy. I've always been community-minded. That's one reason I wanted to run for magistrate. I've been on the Macksville Fire Department for 35 years. 20 of those years I spent as chief, and 30 of those years on the board. I've been on the Washington County Extension Board for 4 terms, the Cattlemen's for 3 terms, chairman of the Tobacco Buyout Committee, graduated from Washington County. I went to St. Catherine here, and then graduated from Vincennes University. I attend Macksville Baptist Church. I've been a deacon there for 20 years. I was in the Kentucky National Guard for 22 years and a Persian Gulf veteran. And I think just some of these things helped qualify me for the job of district. And I think one of my main concerns, of course, is to serve my district the best that I can. And like Benjamin said, I also want to work with the other magistrates to make our county the best that it can be. So that's all I have. Thank you.
District Number 3 candidate, Republican Bobby Lee Russell.
District number 4, Democratic candidate, Sue McIntyre Blair.
Well, I grew up in my district as well, and I lived there. I had 10 brothers and sisters, and we grew up on food stamps and welfare. My mother did washing and ironing for people, and it didn't matter if it was a food stamp dollar or her hard-earned dollar. She could stretch that dime into a dollar any day. So she taught us a very strong work ethic and a respect for money. And so I began working when I was about 9 years old. I made $1 an hour. I worked anywhere from 30 to 50 hours a week. And at that time, you became responsible for your own clothing, shoes, whatever, personal hygiene products. And so my life revolved around this multiple of one. I can remember going to Springfield Drugstore when I was little and had that, they had this shampoo called Lemon Up. And I'd go in there and I'd sneak the top off of it and I'd smell it and I'd think, oh gosh, what it would be like to have that shampoo. But it was $4 a bottle, and I would think, I gotta work 4 hours to buy that. Forget it, I'll just go down to the dollar store, buy the 50-cent thing of Suave or White Rain. And so my whole life has kind of evolved around, budgeting and being financially responsible and having a strong work ethic. As I grew, then a car became kind of an important thing versus education. See, my mom never drove, so we never had a car. So when it came time to get a car, I was kind of like, oh, would I rather have a car or go to college? But ended up going to college and actually never got a car until I got married. So it's all kind of about a delayed gratification, and I think in government we have to do the same thing with taxpayers' money. And so I tell you this so that you can appreciate that I have a strong work ethic and a respect for your tax dollars. I know how to weigh the value of one choice versus another, the delayed gratification, so to speak. In fact, I'm living out a delayed gratification by being here tonight. When I took the leap of faith and left Frankfort, I went to apply for the magistrate position to replace Mr. Sweezy. However, it was not good timing for me due to my political affiliation. So I told them, I said, I'll just return for the general election. So here I am. I take this role very seriously, though, because fiscal means government revenue, especially taxes, and that is your money, not just mine. Recently at a rally, a budget was referenced as not just a monetary document, but a moral document. And that resonated with me as being my motto as well. I have 17 years experience with state and federal budgets and grants while working with the Department of Education, Workforce Development, and Agriculture. I have served as a liaison between the field and office employees. I compare that to the role of magistrate as being a liaison between the people in my district and the court. I've attended the last 6 or 7 fiscal court meetings. Does not make me an expert on it whatsoever, but I do want you to know that I will give this my utmost attention and respect. I'm readily available. I have an office in town, and thank you.
District 4, Democratic candidate Sue McIntyre Blair.
District number 4, here is Democratic candidate Larry Vaughn Carney.
I was taught at a young age what service to the community meant. As a young man, and when I was in middle school, I started doing small tasks at the C&L Florist, business owned by my family. At the age of 21, I went to work for the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. After working there for many years as a state livestock inspector, my supervisor, Mr. Kirby Blanford from Marion County, persuaded me to go to the University of Kentucky and enroll in the Certified Public Managers Program. After graduating from the Certified Public Managers Program, I was awarded a higher position with the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. I was made a State Poultry Program Coordinator. In that position, I worked all 120 counties in Kentucky. Through working those counties, I found out very soon that a lot of counties don't have the feeling of family that we do here in Washington County. That feeling has always been very close to me and very dear. Even in the florist or working livestock, I loved and always felt that sense of family. In listening to my favorite radio station, there's an ad that I've heard many times. That ad at the end has a phrase, and it always ends the same way. When we're here, we're home. When you're here, you're family. It doesn't matter what position I was in, whether I was testing cattle in Washington County, out promoting poultry, or providing transportation on the school bus for safe transportation to our students. I've always felt like part of the Washington County family. That's why my motto is my choice is to be your voice in county government. I hope your choice is to give me that opportunity.
Magistrate candidate, Democrat for number 4 District, Larry Vaughn Carney.
District number 4, Republican incumbent Johnny Coyle.
Thank you for having me here tonight. I am a Republican. I am seeking the office of magistrate for District 5. That includes the voting precincts of the housing project, and also I think they still call it the library, but voting at the library, but I doubt if they vote there anymore. But it's 2 precincts that make up District 5. It is, and the only reason I'm here tonight, I was appointed when Morris Sweezy passed away as an incumbent in this office, and he'd been in this magistrate position for several years. He passed away, and the governor decided to appoint me. I told some of them at a meeting the other night, I'm sure he was looking for a Republican. I think I was 5th or 6th on the list. 5 or 6 people turned it down before he got to me. So it's been an honor, though, to serve this 2 years, approximately 2 years that I've been serving for District 5. There's a lot to learn. We got a lot of new people coming in. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening here in the next 4 years. And hopefully we'll choose wisely. We've got so many offices up, so many changes are going to be made. We could have a brand new fiscal court, brand new. We won't have the guidance of these 20 and 30 and 40-year people that have been around forever. We're going to have new judges. Everything is going to be changing. I found out in the 2 years that I've been serving that there's a lot to learn. And in that 2 years, I've got a lot still to learn. They did give me some advice when I went on the court. The old magistrates that had been there forever, they just said, shut up, sit still, and if we vote yes, vote yes. And I basically have tried to do that, tried to follow their advice. They've pretty much had the thing in hand. They know how the budget has been handled. They've been doing it for years. And I will have to give them some props for what they have done with the budget. We don't have a lot of money in the county. The judge, the present judge, and the magistrates have done a great job in seeing that that has been taken care of and it's been handled in a great way. She said I had 30 seconds, and I knew 3 minutes was going to be tough. So what would I like to see done? I don't know if I can do it in 30 seconds or not. If you're wanting somebody to do the same thing we've been doing, I'm not it. You need another person. I'm tired of that. I've asked and been working with people. I'd love for us to determine some short-term goals for...
Ladies and gentlemen, again, that's District 4, Republican incumbent Johnny Coyle.